Hi, and welcome to the Holly C Podcast, a show about expressing your brilliance with ease and flow. I'll show you how to take the woo-woo out of the clouds and apply it to real life for effortless action. This show is for world changers and future world changers, so if you know there's more to life and you're wondering what's next, this is your show. Hi, I'm Holly, your host. I'm a speaker, author, teacher of health, vitality, and spirituality, and also a dragon spirit guide. In today's episode, we are going to explore conformity. Yes, fitting in, or the opposite of that, which is not fitting in. And the reason this is so important when you are expressing your brilliance and following your soul's calling is because it is your brilliance and your soul's calling, not somebody else's, which means that it's going to be your unique path. And you're not going to be following the herd anymore. In fact, you've probably stopped doing that a long time ago. But we are conditioned since birth to be part of a bigger group, to fit in, to not stand out. And when you are expressing your brilliance, guess what? You're going to stand out. You are going to be a non-conformist. Back in the day when I was going to university, I was actually enrolled in business school. And I naturally gravitated to the people who hated business school. So I was kind of doing what I thought I had to do, what was the right thing to do. You know, go to good school, get a good job. So I was trying to conform, but I was having a hard time with it. So I hung out with other people who were going through the same experience as me. We all considered ourselves these non-conformists. Back then, I used to listen to industrial music. I thought of myself as this alternative chick. I considered myself to be part of the alternative scene, which is kind of ironic because we were going to business school in a small town. There was this one bar we used to go to, and it had this dance floor that was painted all black. The walls were all black, and it had this fencing around it, and people called it the cage, and all sorts of quote-unquote weirdos would show up there wearing pirate shirts and black clothing. One day my friend decided to show up in a button-down shirt, like the standard shirt somebody would wear under a suit. He did it because he wanted to make a point, which was all of the non-conformists in this bar were actually conforming to the standard of being a non-conformist, because he got so many nasty looks for showing up in his business attire. So there's a lot of layers to conforming and not conforming, because when you're deliberately trying not to fit in, you're kind of in a way fitting in. You're fitting in to not fitting in. Expressing your brilliance isn't about pushing against the norms and the standards and trying to be the opposite. It's about you being you and being okay with that. So to explore this topic, because I know it's a hot topic for a lot of people, especially me being Asian, there's almost a duty to conform, and the culture is about putting the group ahead of the individual. So we're going to enter the dragon spirit space to explore about conformity, fitting in and not fitting in, and hopefully peel back some of those layers of the onion and clear away some of those subconscious blocks or fears you may have about this that could be stopping you from moving forward. So let's enter the dragon spirit space. This is where I hold space for you, and I tune into the universe and share what comes through to help you connect with the universe too. So everyone has a dragon spirit inside them. It is that voice within that craves adventure, exploration, and also knows the most expansive answers to your deepest questions. It's your inner voice. It's that voice that we often don't listen to enough. So to enter the dragon spirit space, you're going to place your hand on your heart. So just bring your awareness to your heart right now. Allow your energy to settle down if you've had a busy day. And we are going to take 3 dragon breaths. So you'll breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. And if you feel like letting out a sigh or sound like a ha as you breathe out, go ahead and do so. Let's begin. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out. Ha, releasing any tension in your throat and neck. Breathe in through your nose, expanding your chest. Breathe out. Ha. And on the third breath, imagine breathing into your shoulders, into the space between your shoulder blades. And breathe out, releasing tension. Ha. The word that comes to mind is burden. The idea of fitting in feels like a burden to you. Watching what you say, making sure you're doing the right thing, not ruffling any feathers, following social norms and conventions. Breathe in through your nose. Breathe out. How many of you are comfortable breathing out, letting out a sigh or sound, a ha? How many felt discomfort? The ones who felt discomfort, even if you were breathing out, myself included, but you didn't want to make too loud a sound or too odd a noise or not follow the quote-unquote convention of what breathing out sounds like. You were constricting yourself, making yourself fit in, conforming. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out. Ha. If you want, you can rest your hand. No need to keep it on your heart. Just rest it in your lap. And how many of you are thinking about, I'm not going to do that because she said to do that? Which brings to mind the childhood game of Simon Says. Simon Says, place your hand on your heart. How many of you placed your hand on your heart? Simon Says, place your hand in your lap. Place your hand on your heart. What did you do? Did your mind start to get confused? Do I conform? Do I not conform? If I place my hand on my heart, I'm out of the game. If I don't place my hand on my heart, I'm showing Holly, that I'm not conforming. But then I'm doing the opposite. So I'm conforming to not conforming. Oh dear, I'm confused now. Breathe in through your nose. Easy, relaxed breath out. I know you can breathe however the heck you want during this podcast episode. You see, Simon Says it's just another way you are taught to conform. Now, sometimes the conforming is just a matter of play. There's no malicious intent there. And sometimes the conforming is to bend your will to another's. Breathe in through your nose. Breathe out. The difference is when you are faced with a punishment for not doing the thing versus it is a choice of your own. So will you be punished for not breathing when I say breathe in through your nose? And breathe out? No. In fact, you've been breathing the entire time you've been listening to this podcast. So without realizing it, you have been non-conforming. Breathe in through your nose. Easy, relaxed breath out. See how easy it was with breathing. You weren't even thinking about it. That is the inherent nature of your soul. And it is the need to conform which comes from conditioning. Comes from the mind. It's at the root of a lot of control issues. Because you want to fit in, or if you stick out You'll be ostracized. You'll be abandoned. You'll not be contributing. You'll die. You see, many people on this path of awakening have in previous lives also followed this path, or tried to follow this path, or attempted to follow this path, and they got knocked down. And many of you were killed in your past life because of not fitting in. Many of you have been hassled in your current life for not fitting in. It has its roots in childhood. How many of you were bullied because you were different? How many of you were told by your teacher that how you thought and approached things was wrong? How many of you felt the pressure from your mother, from your father, your brother, sister, aunts, uncles, grandparents? How many of you felt that burden to be like the rest of the family? Breathe in through your nose. Breathe out. It was a burden. It's still a burden so many years later, that even though many of your family members have moved on past those notions they had of what was fitting in, many have, let's say, changed the suit of armor from one perspective to a different perspective of what constitutes fitting in. You're still holding on to aspects of what you picked up in childhood. Even if the people who pass that on to you no longer do those things. Breathe in through your nose. Breathe out. Why do you do it? For survival. There's no need in this life to hold on to it for survival. But you have evolved, and there's an instinct of survival within you that overrides your logical sense, almost overrides your heart and soul. It is that strong, this preservation of survival. How many of you are feeling tightness in your throat, constriction? Breathe in through your nose. Relax your throat. Breathe out. This is the energy, not just yours, the collective energy, this vice-like grip of survival instinct saying, do not speak. Because if you speak up, you'll be ostracized, abandoned, become destitute. You may die. And if you do not speak up, you know you're killing yourself inside. And if you do not speak up, you feel the pain of that inside you. What do? Breathe in through your nose and breathe out. You will not unpack decades, centuries, lifetimes of the fear of being different. You'll not fully unpack that in a 15-20 minute podcast, but you can start. And how many of you felt, again, more tension, tightness, constriction when I said the word start? There's fear to even consider releasing this instinct, easing up on it, the desire to fit in. Because even when you did not fit in, there was a desire to fit in. Why don't you at least admit it? When you were arrogantly, outwardly, confidently putting down, fitting in, you desperately wanted to fit in. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out. To you, fitting in felt like a hug, supported, surrounded by people who believe in you. You so desperately wanted that as a child. Even now, as confident as you are, there's a longing for this. But know that this longing comes from the unfulfilled desire from childhood. It is not your heart and soul's longing to be exactly like everyone else. Your heart and soul already knows you're connected, that you belong, that you are surrounded by people who believe in you. Perhaps not in every aspect of who you are, not in everything that you believe, but that's because we're all different. Breathe in through your nose. Breathe out. Do you see? Every single person is unique. And in that sense, because we are all unique, we are all the same. Breathe in through your nose. Releasing tension, releasing that burden, feeling it slide off your back and shoulders. And again, deep breath in, feeling your chest, straightening your spine. There's no need to carry the burden anymore. You can release some of it. Just move your shoulders, roll your shoulders, turn your head gently side to side. And breathe in and breathe out through your mouth. As you're rolling your shoulders. Again, breathe in through your nose and out as you roll your shoulders. Relaxing your spine all the way from the middle of your back, down through your torso, into your lumbar region, your tailbone, releasing tension, relaxing, allowing yourself to straighten up. And some of you hunch over a bit because you're trying not to stand out. You think subconsciously, if you stoop over, nobody will notice you. But you see, it actually makes you more noticeable. Just like when you try to hold yourself down to conform, it makes you more noticeable. Energetically, you stand out because you are holding back your energy. And you may be thinking, but how could that be if everyone else is doing it? Then I'm fitting in. At the soul level, you stand out. If you could see yourself as the universe sees you, it would see that there's this tapestry of humanity, and the ones who are holding themselves small stand out. You're not conforming to your true nature. You're not allowing your true nature to flow through. You would be like somebody showing up at a party wearing a Halloween costume, only it's not Halloween. This costume, this mask, these pretenses that you put on to fit in are like wearing a Halloween costume. And if somebody shows up in a purple dinosaur outfit to your fancy frou-frou dinner, they're going to stand out. What if you don't have to wear all this stuff? Because it's kind of heavy wearing this outfit, kind of hot, uncomfortable, stuffy. Imagine yourself taking off the purple Barney suit, taking off that giant purple dinosaur head, and already you can breathe more easily. You unzip the costume, it drops from you. You're afraid you're going to be naked. People are going to see you. And won't you stand out more? When you were born, you arrived naked. That was your natural state. It was your parents who put clothes on you, because you couldn't do it yourself back then. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out. How many of you are feeling tightness in your jaw? Take your hands, massage your jaw right now. Massage your face, your cheeks, your brow bone, your eyebrows, your forehead, the top of your head, the sides of your head, the base of your skull, the back of your neck, tops of your shoulders. Breathe in and release. Now, as we said earlier, you're not going to unpack all of this fear and this instinct that overrides everything that wants you to fit in. But we've already started. Yes, in spite of your mind kicking and screaming, protesting, we started. And we'll continue. You will continue. You will notice in the days, weeks ahead, maybe even in the minutes and hours ahead, today, you will notice a shifting perspective on conforming, a loosening of the need to fit in. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out. Just observe, watch yourself. And we will revisit this topic again in this podcast. And on that note, we will exit the Dragon Spirit space for now. And know that the space is always available to you when you quiet your mind. So we'll exit with 3 dragon breaths. Breathe in through your nose. And breathe out. Again, in through your nose. And out through your mouth. And once more, in through your nose. And out through your mouth. So I'm being directed to share with you guys that you should bring your awareness to your lower back. Place your hands on your lower back. And just give a gentle massage there. And notice tightness and constriction. And just imagine energy flowing through your lower back, flowing through your hips, through your legs, your knees, your shins and calves and ankles, your feet, and your toes. And you might want to wiggle your toes too. So if you've been trying to move forward with something lately, the resistance is because of your need to conform. It's not really a need, but that childhood desire to want to fit in. So if you take a few moments after this podcast to journal Think of the one incident that stands out most in your mind where you got quote unquote knocked down for not fitting in, for being different. Just write about that and allow the feelings to surface, whatever you're feeling, because you've kind of probably stuffed that down inside. You might want to have some tissues handy. You may cry, you may feel angry, you may feel shame. Just let it all come out through your pen and paper. And just take a breath in and breathe out. And I am getting the message that we are most definitely going to be exploring conformity in much more depth and continually exploring this because the instinct for survival is so strong that it causes us to act in ways that may not be rational and that may be counter to our heart's desire. But I'm also getting the message to reassure you that you will work through this. You will uncover those subconscious thoughts that are limiting you, and you will release them. In fact, you've released quite a lot already. And we've set the groundwork in this podcast episode to release even more. So on that note, we're at the end of today's episode. Thank you so much for listening to the Holly C Show, Express Your Brilliance with Ease and Flow. So thanks again for listening, and I look forward to reconnecting with you again soon. Bye for now.